Basically, the history of the anthropomorphic funny animal or furry fandom came in the late 80s through Comic-Con. And what would happen is through room parties, people would get together and discuss the different fanzines out there, one of them being Rob Razzle. And so with people getting together with Comic-Con and other cons in the area and having their own room parties, they kind of started branching out, making more fanzines. And then eventually, I think it was in, gosh, I'm guessing 1990 or 90. I'll have to look it up. I don't have my notes with me. That the first conference was made in California. So it really it was a branch off of science fiction fantasy, and so it just became kind of its own thing. The invention of the internet really helped out a lot of things, especially in the sci-fi fandom itself and in the furry fandom as well. I mean, with fanzines, of course, you're going to get the printed publication, but as soon as it's online, more and more people are seeing it, more and more people are hearing about the room parties and conventions. And of course, that's what started out with just wanting people to come together and congregate.
There are some rules, we want to cover that. We had an issue with him at the rave last night that we want to go over. Just a couple of rules for if you see furries walking around.
Lightly pulled my tail, and I was good about that and didn't do anything.
The guy
But then I
coming
noticed
back
them trying to come back,
and do it again.
and got close enough to me that I figured he was going to do it again. So
You spun around, pushed him against the wall, and yelled that basically don't touch my tail.
yeah,
Well,
we're very
it's-
much in character.
Very
True.
much.
It's like if you pull a cat's tail, it's gonna claw you back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, even when I'm walking around in like the dealer's room or something, and somebody just steps on my tail, I feel it. It may not be like actual physical pain, like a real cat would be, but you feel that and you jump, and
Yeah.
it's just like if somebody steps on your toe. When I was in high school, most of the time when I was in high school, I was a bunny. First off, because my friend who actually got me into the fandom is like, oh, you're a bunny, you're just hyper all the time, and I'm just like, no, I'm just really a cat. I like to sleep in the sun and chill, and I don't like to move much, and I'm good.
Just as
I like
peop-
shiny things.
just as people evolve their personalities, personas can change.
Does it have to be like a furry animal?
No,
no.
there are things as
It
feathers
can
and
be
scales.
It can be anything, even up to fantasy characters. There's like the dragon
Dragons.
and
A lot of
everything
phoenixes.
else.
You see a lot of phoenixes.
Eagles, birds, everything.
I actually got asked yesterday, are you going to do the whole fursuit with the head and everything? And I was like, part of me kind of wants to do it, but I'm tiny, and just proportionally, I just don't think I can pull it off because I am so small. It's just not for me. I know you guys talk about how hot it is inside the heads and everything, and I just personally can't handle the heat. So I wouldn't personally be able to do it. I like my costume how it is now. It's just the stretchy, sporty shirt thing. I usually have gloves on and a really nice manicure for my claws, but I don't have my gloves with me, but my sleeves pull down anyway. Yes.
May I add?
Sure.
Something? Okay. Yeah, basically when the furry fandom started, it was like nobody would think of anything other than a full fur costume, and even people use stretch velour as their costumes as well. But as time went on and the anime crowd kind of came into the furry fandom, the idea of having more of a hall costume kind of took over. So right now there's almost 50-50 between full fur costumes and then what's called a partial, which would be considered a hall costume as well.
People are like, are you a cat girl? And I said, no, I'm actually a furry. And they're like, oh. And do kind of that number and walk away. Furries can have a bad rep sometimes because of the internet and what they're portrayed as.
Basically, the issue is that people judge based upon what they know.
Yeah.
So if they know from what they have seen on television, like as far as the CSI that came out 8 years ago, I have to mention, but still it's the number one thing that's always mentioned. So basically, TV, it is glamorized quite a bit. And so what you see on TV, you can't really believe all that you hear. And what we were talking about in an earlier panel today on how to enjoy a science fiction convention is that if you don't understand basically about what genre is as part of sci-fi, definitely talk to those people and they'll let you know what's going on. Because of course, being perfectly blunt, on the internet, the easiest thing to find is pornographic material. So if you search under furry, it might be one of the first things that pop up, but it is definitely not the thing that defines what a furry is. And that's the thing that's the hardest to make clear as a point to other people, especially when you're trying to show people how passionate you are about something, is to be judged based upon solely what they've heard or what they found on their own.